There is also steady progress in reduction of outstanding pending bills. As of March 31st, 2024, the total amount of pending bills reported by 47 counties was 150.66 billion Kenya shillings. This reflects a reduction of 8.61 billion shillings over the past 9 months since the start of the 2023/24 financial year. This represents a decrease of 5.4%. By the end of the fiscal year, we anticipate that this figure will decrease significantly. We need to do more to settle all eligible pending bills and process all that is considered ineligible to the satisfaction of our businessmen at both levels of government. I wish to restate the commitment of this administration to timely disbursement of funds to counties. The National Treasury also cleared the equitable share to counties for November and December 2023, as resolved in the 22nd Ordinary Session. Despite the fiscal revenue challenges, the National Treasury has also cleared disbursement to counties up to the end of February 2024, with some already in receipt of their March allocations. As of today, 66.5% of the total allocation for the financial year has been disbursed. With the support of the National Assembly, the County Government Additional Allocation Act 2023-24 was passed and assented to by His Excellency President William Ruto. Counties are accessing and using additional funds for the benefit of our people. I urge the relevant institutions to collaborate and seek appropriate amendments to the statutes within the 2 financial years in which the exemption has been granted. While we seek to strengthen working together in transforming our country, climate change is increasingly becoming a threat to our very existence. We moved from one of the longest droughts in 4 decades into the deluge of El Nino. Even before recovery from the adverse impacts of the 2 disasters, we are in another season of enhanced rains. With more than 30 counties being most affected, no part of our country has been spared to some extent. While hundreds of our people have been displaced, we have lost more than 210 lives, besides the enormous livelihoods. Roads, bridges, and other infrastructure have been destroyed. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, response requires that we enhance collaboration in implementing safety measures as outlined by our President, Dr. William Ruto, besides the roadmap to restoring normalcy. Disaster knows no boundaries between the mandates of national and county governments. We are one government, and saving lives and livelihoods is our #1 priority. It is encouraging that budgeting for disaster response is one of the agenda items of this session. We have made significant progress towards achieving the resolutions of the 22nd session. An example is the evaluation and transfer of assets to counties. As you may have observed, we have commenced transferring motor vehicles, machinery, and other equipment to the counties. The most recent transfer occurred in Uasin Gishu County. Additionally, we have finished valuing assets in 30 counties, and the ownership documentation for transfer is ongoing. Further, we have concluded the handover of the construction of county headquarters in 5 devolved units, including Tana River, Lamu, Isiolo, Tharaka Nithi, and Nyandarua. These headquarters have been under construction for over 10 years. The respective counties can now complete their own construction with support from the National Treasury. In our reforms in the agricultural sector, we have made great progress in the coffee subsector reforms, but we are a bit concerned from the national government that some counties have engaged into activities that undermine those reforms, despite having agreed that we shall not have multiple licenses, so that the sector is not captured. We did agree that those who mill should not market. But some counties, contrary to what we agreed, have licensed everybody to be millers when they are marketers. This undermines the progress we had made so far. I want to request the counties to be part of the reforms and to stick to what was agreed on. Otherwise, we shall have a crisis, because what we have agreed is where the counties have gone contrary to what we had agreed and licensed millers who are also marketers. The national government would register them as marketers, then they can mill. And this will cause conflict that is unnecessary. You know, we have been working together because of the situation we find ourselves in terms of almost losing an entire generation by availability of illicit drinks and proliferation of bars in every establishment across the country, a situation that, if not checked, we could lose an entire generation. We have serious challenges in many parts of the country, and we did invoke some security laws to be able to deal with the situation, and there is a marked improvement. However, after a lot of analysis, we have come to find that there are legal gaps, and there are some amendments that are being proposed where we need your support. After a lot of analysis, we are persuaded that we want to convince you to agree that you work together with NACADA and other law enforcement agencies in the licensing aspect of bars, so that the law enforcement agencies and NACADA can have an input. And we also cushion the governors who are elected from political pressure, unnecessary political pressure from bar owners. We are proposing for your consideration that the licensing function is spearheaded by NACADA, but the revenue goes to the county government, the back of it, which is something that we'll discuss, and a little bit of it to assist in the administration of the licensing function. Again, we are recommending, and I don't think you will oppose, that the amounts of money that come from the sin tax, because it's a sin tax, is ring-fenced for rehabilitation and advocacy, so that money coming from levies, from bars and wines and spirits, you use it to put up rehabilitation centers and run them. In fact, we would want to persuade county governments, if they agree, in the level 4 hospitals that they have, to create a ward specifically for rehabilitation, similar to what we are having for border. Because I have seen in many facilities, you have a ward specifically dealing with accidents. The issue of rehabilitation is getting out of hand, and people are very desperate, and the private centers are extremely expensive, and many people cannot afford. So that law is being developed. We'll circulate it for your input. I'm requesting your cooperation. We have no intention of taking away that function from you, but there are areas that we need to cooperate so that we can protect our people, and we can also help in regulating the sale of alcohol, so that we don't turn every establishment into a bar to the detriment of our young population. So we will, that law, the suggestions have been made, but before it is taken to Parliament, we'll be able to give it to COG so that you can also get time to give an input. And then together we can agree on what we can do so that we have a law that can help us in enforcement, and mostly on directing the sin tax to rehabilitation and advocacy so that we can mitigate the effects of alcoholism and drug abuse that are obvious and are everywhere in the country.